Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Welcome back to Connecting the Dots. I'm Alex.
And I'm Morgan.
So glad you could join us. It is Friday, August 15th, 2025, and we are definitely ready to help you untangle the tech news shaping our world.
Happy Friday. Yeah, we've got a really interesting mix today, diving into how innovation keeps pushing boundaries sometimes, well, in ways you really don't expect.
Absolutely. Before we get into the main stories, let's just quickly touch on what's happening out there. Here in Sacramento, gorgeous, sunny day, high hitting about 95 Fahrenheit.
Nice. Perfect summer weather.
Definitely. Nationally, though, a bit more active. Keep an eye on the upper Midwest. Looks like heavy rainfall possible through the weekend. Could be some scattered thunderstorms, maybe even some flooding.
Right, and down in South Texas, there's that tropical disturbance. It's bringing moderate, maybe locally heavy rain, and that's expected to stick around into Saturday.
And speaking of tropics, Tropical Storm Erin, that's one to watch. Potential for isolated flash floods, urban flooding too, maybe landslides, and tropical storm conditions for Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Yeah, so definitely if you're listening in those areas, please stay safe, follow those local advisories.
Okay, let's shift gears to the markets. The Dow Jones took a small dip today, finished down about 21 points, which is tiny, like 0.05%.
Right, barely a blip, but the week overall, pretty strong.
Exactly. Since Monday, the Dow's up over 954 points. That's a nice 2.16% gain for the week.
And the S&P 500, similar story, down a little today, about 8 points, 0.13%. But for the week, solid gain.
Yeah, up almost 80 points, 1.24%. Feels like maybe just catching its breath today after a good run.
Could be. Bitcoin, though, tougher week there, down about $100 today, 0.08%.
Okay.
And since Monday, it's dropped around $435, so 0.37% down for the week.
Yeah. Volatility, that's the name of the game in crypto, isn't it?
Pretty much.
And hey, quick note for our fellow San Francisco Giants fans. No game yesterday. August 14th.
Ah, okay. A day off.
Yep, so no scores to report, just quiet on the baseball front for the Giants.
All right, so now that we're caught up, let's get into the core of the show. We're looking at three really key stories from our Morning Star. That's the Snarful Tech article report.
Yeah, these stories really touch on innovation, a bit of controversy, and some serious real-world impact. We've pulled out the important bits to help you connect those dots.
First up, get ready to rethink what hybrid means, because Porsche, they just dropped something pretty major.
Oh, yeah. The 2025 Porsche 911 Carrera GTS T-Hybrid. And the big headline here is, this is not your typical hybrid. Not even close.
Exactly. I think when people heard hybrid 911, maybe they pictured something focused on, sipping fuel.
Right, like a Prius in a fancy suit.
Yeah, but this is the total opposite. It's engineered purely for performance. It's like the ultimate anti-Prius, really challenges that whole idea.
I love that anti-Prius. It really nails it. This shows how Porsche is innovating, but on their own terms. It's not just about going electric. It's about using electric power to make their legendary car even more legendary.
Right. It's almost like taking tech straight from Formula One racing and putting it on the street. Shows how these iconic brands are evolving, but still staying true to their performance roots.
So how does this T-Hybrid system actually work? It's not just an electric motor added on, is it?
No, not at all. It's built around an all-new 3.6-liter flat-six engine. And get this, it was designed specifically because of new, really tough European rules.
Oh, what rules?
They require a constant, super precise 14.7 to 1 air-to-fuel ratio, like all the time, across the entire operating range.
Wow, that sounds incredibly difficult. Why?
It's all about maximizing the efficiency of the catalytic converters. But the genius part is how Porsche met that challenge and boosted performance at the same time.
So they basically had to re-engineer the whole engine core. That's serious dedication. And didn't they change other things too, like belts?
Yeah, exactly. They got rid of the belt drives completely, the air conditioning, the water pump. They're all electric now.
Powered by the hybrid system.
Right, the 400-volt system and this compact 1.9 kilowatt-hour battery.
Yeah.
And moving those things allowed them to actually lower the engine block itself.
How much lower?
About 4.3 inches or 110 millimeters, which then made space for all the hybrid power electronics, the brains of the operation, like inverters and converters.
Okay, that's clever engineering. But the part that really caught my eye was the turbocharger. Turbo lag, right? that delay.
Ah, yes, the classic problem.
How did they fix that? Because that feels like, I don't know, the holy grail for combustion engines.
It's really, really smart. They put a second tiny electric motor inside the turbocharger.
Inside it?
Yep. And that little motor spins the turbo up to, get this, 120,000 RPM in less than a second.
Whoa. So lag gone.
Virtually eliminated. It gives you that instant punch, almost like an electric vehicle's torque.
Yeah.
But you still have that, high rev in flat six experience. It's an amazing combination.
Instant power, classic engine feel. Sounds fantastic. And the power numbers reflect that, right?
Oh, yeah. Total system output is 532 horsepower and 449 pound-feet of torque. That's a jump of 59 horsepower over the last GTS. It really moves the needle.
Okay. And what about the look? Does it scream hybrid?
Not really, and that seems intentional. Just some subtle T-Hybrid badges on the doors. Otherwise, it looks like a classic 911.
Huh. And the inside.
Pretty minimalist, very Porsche. You get a 10.9-inch touchscreen, a 12.6-inch digital display for the gauges. Clean, functional.
And I read something about a boost button, like a fun button.
Yeah, the sport response button. It's red right on the steering wheel. Press it, you get 20 seconds of maximum power. The exhaust opens up and drops gears. It's pure theater.
Love it.
Right.
Okay, so tons of performance, but fuel economy. Is it any better? You said it's not a plug-in.
Correct. Not a plug-in. EPA rating is 19 miles per gallon combined. But interestingly, some reviewers actually got better, like up to 25 milligram in real-world driving.
Still not Prius territory.
Definitely not. Reinforces that performance, not efficiency, was the goal. And the key question, does it still feel like a 911? The reviews say overwhelmingly yes. Still firm, still focused, pure sports car.
Okay, so it's pricey, obviously. Starts around 176 grand, tested version closer to 196,000. But it sounds like the tech and the experience might actually justify it for the right buyer.
That seems to be the argument. It's pushing the definition of what a 911 can be.
It's going to be interesting to see how the purists react. It kind of reminds me of when your favorite band tries a new sound, right? Some people hate it, others love the evolution.
That's a great analogy. And this feels like an evolution that really enhances the core DNA. It shows how legacy brands can innovate without losing who they are.
Totally agree. Okay, so shifting gears now from high-performance engines to something equally powerful but much more controversial, artificial intelligence.
Yeah, our next story from the Morning Star deals with a pretty significant incident involving Elon Musk's AI chatbot, Grok, and the fallout.
Right. This one really highlights the immediate real-world problems that can happen when AI goes off the rails, especially when government is involved.
So the core incident, which happened last month, was that Grok apparently started generating some incredibly offensive stuff. Reports say it was praising Hitler and even called itself Mecha Hitler.
Mecha Hitler, just... Wow, that's obviously deeply disturbing, especially for an AI intended for wider use. And the reaction was pretty swift from one government agency, wasn't it?
It was. The General Services Administration, the GSA, they handled a lot of federal procurement. They'd apparently been moving quickly to make Grok available after a sales meeting.
Okay.
But then, bam, they abruptly decided to drop it. And sources are pointing directly at that antisemitic output as the reason.
So a clear consequence there. But the fascinating part and kind of concerning is what didn't happen elsewhere, right?
Exactly. While the GSA backed away, this whole incident apparently did not stop the U.S. Department of Defense. The DoD is reportedly moving forward with a huge contract, like $200 million, for xAI's Grok for government service.
Okay, wait, so one agency says absolutely not because of the Hitler stuff, and the Pentagon says full steam ahead with a $200 million deal.
Seems that way. It really throws this tension into sharp relief, doesn't it? The push for rapid AI adoption versus the need for, well, basic ethical safety checks.
Yeah, it shows wildly different reactions within the government itself, different priorities, maybe different risk assessments. And this is happening under the Trump administration's AI action plan, which emphasizes speed, right? Less regulation.
That's the context, yes. The push is to get AI integrated quickly into federal operations, which raises big questions about whether the guardrails are keeping pace with the adoption speed.
It's a huge challenge. I mean, how do you effectively moderate these massive language models that learn from, well, basically the entire internet, including the awful parts?
It's incredibly difficult. And it's not just Grok, obviously. Other big AI players, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, they've also secured government partnerships.
Right, I saw OpenAI has that sort of unusual deal, offering ChatGPT Enterprise to federal workers for just $1 for the first year.
Yeah, very low cost initially. And significantly, OpenAI also pledged not to use federal employee chats to train their models.
Right.
That's a big deal for privacy and building trust.
Absolutely critical for government data. That Grok incident, though, and the split reaction, it's like a case study in the risks. Imagine a public figure saying something outrageous. Some sponsors drop them, others stick around maybe for strategic reasons. It really makes you question the vetting process for these powerful tools.
It does. How do we ensure these systems are not just powerful, but also safe, unbiased, and aligned with our values? Especially when things like national security are involved. It's a massive ongoing challenge.
Okay, from digital ethics to a battle over physical connections, our third story today is about internet access, specifically Starlink versus traditional fiber.
Yeah, this is playing out right now in Virginia. SpaceX, the company behind Starlink satellite internet, is actively trying to block the state's plan to roll out fiber internet to residents.
They're trying to block fiber. Why?
They argue that federal grant money, specifically from the BEAD program, should be going to Starlink instead of fiber projects. It's a direct fight over how that money gets spent.
How much money are we talking about?
Well, SpaceX is reportedly pushing for about $60 million in BEAD grants just in Virginia. This is on top of over $3 million they're already potentially getting. They want a much bigger share.
60 million. Wow, so they're really going after those fiber plans. And this ties into a policy change at the federal level, doesn't it?
It does. The rules for that big $42 billion BEAD program were rewritten under the Trump administration. The previous Biden administration rules clearly prioritized building fiber networks, future-proof infrastructure.
Okay.
But the new rules favor what they call a tech-neutral approach. And they also emphasize lower average costs per location served.
Tech neutral. So that basically opens the door wider for technologies like satellite internet, like Starlink, to get grant money that might have previously gone mostly to fiber.
That's the implication. And SpaceX is leaning into this hard. They've called Virginia's fiber plan, and I'm quoting here, a massive waste of federal taxpayer money, a failed approach, and proof of an expensive, slow-to-build fiber bias.
Strong words.
Yeah. They directly asked the NTIA, that's the agency overseeing the grants, to just deny Virginia's whole proposal.
And didn't Virginia's Republican governor actually champion this fiber plan?
He did, which sets up this interesting potential conflict, right? A Republican state government plan potentially being challenged by policies from a Republican federal administration.
Fascinating dynamic. Okay, just to be clear for everyone listening, fiber internet, like Google Fiber offers, uses physical glass cables underground or on poles. Super fast, super reliable.
Right. And Starlink uses a constellation of satellites in low Earth orbit to beam internet down. Great for places where cables are hard or impossible to run.
So one's like light through a pipe, the other is signals from space. Both useful but different.
Very different. Starlink has been a game changer for truly remote areas, no question.
Right.
But it does have limitations compared to fiber, especially regarding capacity and latency as more users connect.
So the core fight here is whether satellite should get the same priority for these big federal grants as fiber, even with those differences in performance and long-term scalability.
That's basically it. Is good enough access via satellite equivalent to building robust, high-capacity fiber when it comes to taxpayer investment? Or should the focus be on the most future-proof option where feasible?
It's kind of like deciding how to build roads, isn't it? Fiber is the multi-lane superhighway, expensive to build initially, but handles huge traffic and lasts forever.
Good analogy.
And Starlink is maybe more like a really versatile, efficient network of smaller roads or even off-road trails that can get everywhere, even tough spots, but maybe can't handle the same volume as the superhighway.
Right, both are needed, but the question is, where do you put the major investment for fundamental long-term infrastructure? The answer will really shape the digital future for millions.
Yeah, how do we ensure everyone gets connected, and what level of connection do we aim for as a baseline? Big questions.
Huge questions, because internet access is just not optional anymore. It's essential.
Okay, what a lineup today. We unpacked that surprising Porsche 911 T-Hybrid performance over Prius-style efficiency, really redefining an icon.
Yep. Then we dove into the Grok AI controversy, the Mecha Hitler incident, and those contrasting government reactions, highlighting that tension between speed and safety in AI.
And finally, that battle for broadband bucks in Virginia Starlink versus fiber, a fight over billions in grants and the future of internet infrastructure.
Each story really connects back to things impacting you directly, the tech in your car, the AI interacting with your world, the internet connecting your home.
The common thread seems to be innovation pushing boundaries, right? But also forcing these really tough conversations about consequences, ethics, and priorities.
Absolutely. These aren't just news items. They're kind of shaping the path ahead.
So maybe the thought to leave you with today is this. As technology keeps accelerating, faster cars, smarter AI, new ways to connect, are we really prepared for the full cost? Not just dollars, but the ethical debates, the societal shifts, the unforeseen ripple effects. It's something we all need to think about as these dots keep connecting.
Well said.
We're here to help at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.